Alright, here we go. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? John here from Toy Bounty Hunters Web TV. Today we have a very special treat for y'all. We are doing our very first live stream. It's going to be a Q&A panel discussion that you guys can be a part of. We're going to be talking about Super Sentai, Power Rangers toys, and a couple of other things. Right now we're just waiting on Sentai 22 to get on. I think he's having some technical difficulties. On the panel we also have Tommy from Toy Bounty Hunters Web TV. Is our social media manager. Tommy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? I'm Tommy Brennan, social media manager for Toy Bounty Hunters. Like us on Facebook.
There you go. Nice. Like the plug there, very nice. Oh, having a little bit of slowdown there. What's going on here? All right. Well, get started here. All right. Where is Sentai 22? All right. Unfortunately, I have to do this from a laptop, so if you guys hear that thumping sound, it is me, and I do apologize. Hopefully get that rectified in the future. I'm going to have to use this laptop. All right. So I guess we can start up with any questions anybody might have, but if I could enable the Q&A feature here. Just bear with me, guys. I'm new to this. All right. He says to try now. Since I turned to this. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if it works. All right. So hopefully that'll work, and hopefully he'll be joining us here shortly.
You got the group chat screen up and ready to go?
I do. I'm just looking to see how we go about. All right. All right. We also have our Twitter up, so if anybody has any questions that they want to ask us on Twitter, set up our Twitter page is at Toy_B_Hunters. So if you want to ask any questions on there, we'll try to field them here in the live chat.
Yeah, just use the hashtag TBH Live.
There you go. Is that the McDonald's song? Oh, there he is. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Sentai!
He's alive. We got him. All right. Now we can get this started here. All right. Looks like
I think we might be having audio problems on Nintendo.
I'm having audio problems.
No, I can hear you. It looks like he's saying something and I can't hear him.
Sure, he'll get it figured out there in a moment. He doesn't think we're good to go. Oh, I hear something. It sounds.
Hey, can you guys hear me
Hey,
now?
I can hear you now.
Nope.
Oh, good, good.
Kind of.
Sorry about that.
Loud and clear, buddy.
You know oh, thank you. You know when you go to the Google Plus Hangout, when you go in, they give you like that terms and conditions. You gotta press the check, and you can't see the next button. I was trying to find the next button, but I couldn't. That's why it was taking me so long. So I finally figured out a way to get around it, and I finally got in.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks for sending so many invites, Jonathan.
No problem, bro. No problem. Well, now we can get our discussion panel started here. Everyone, this is Sentai 22.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Sentai 22 here. How you guys all doing? It's kind of my catchphrase every time I start the video. So.
Yeah, I know. That's why we had to give you the opportunity there. All right, so let's get this Q&A panel discussion started. Like I said, anybody who's watching live right now, if you have any questions, you could go ahead and post questions to our Facebook like page. It's facebook.com/ToyBountyHuntersPage. If you have any questions for this live stream, you could send us a message on there, or like I said, you could post them on Twitter. Because apparently I can't see them on here on this live stream, or at least I haven't figured out how to just yet, but I'm sure I will.
Yeah, Google Plus is a little bit complicated for everybody. It's a discombobulated Facebook. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad, yeah.
It's pretty bad. I mean, they're trying to be like the next Facebook, but they're not, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. They're forcing people to use it, and then by getting the YouTube community involved in it too. Now you have to have you gotta have a Google Plus account to post comments, which is ridiculous. But whatever. Let's get all right. So let's.
Yeah, I got some Power Ranger keys today.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Change.
Yeah. Sort of. These are the Power Ranger versions, which I have to say they're not bad, considering that the Japanese version did not have that spring mechanism in the Ranger keys. Although, from what I did find, is that some of the Candy Toy versions did have the spring mechanisms, but of course, the Super Mega Force toy line will have all of the Ranger keys with the spring mechanisms, so that's pretty cool.
It's pretty interesting. And I've heard it, now I know that those, or I've heard at least, that those are significantly smaller than the Japanese counterparts, but I've heard that they're more detailed. Is that true?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was kind of surprised, really. I thought that Bandai of America would just leave them unpainted. I thought they were just like, you know what? Just gonna keep them like all the colors, but without any of the different detailing of the suit or anything. But I was fairly surprised with what they did. I mean, they really did a fantastic job with the keys. It's really cool that they actually added something. Not like they wanted it to, but they did anyway. I mean, if you look at it closely, you can see the Gokaiger logo in the chest there. Much like the Japanese version, yeah. Same goes for the Mighty Morphin one.
That's cool.
Although not as detailed, but you can't see the white ridges on the helmet of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger version, but you can see the black dino eyes on him. So you can see there.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been having fun with this. I mean, this is no more pirates, but at least it's something. I mean.
Yeah. Very nice. Oh, you got
awesome.
and that is the
legendary Morpher.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, like
See,
I
my
said in
eardrum
my
just exploded.
yeah. Now, one thing I do like about this is that it's a great substitute for the Japanese version if you can't afford the Mobirates. I mean, I have the Mobirates, of course, and I paid around I think $70, $75 for it, and I only paid for this one, the Legendary for $40. So
Wow.
this is a great substitute. I mean, minus the whole Go Kaija. It's okay. I mean, it
Best
does
part
the
of that
sound.
show.
Yeah, I mean, if you like turn the key,
Yeah.
oh, it does other things as well.
Okay.
Like that part is from the Mobirates, so at least you get a little bit from the Mobirates. So it's not that bad. And also, even though this part, as you can see, this part is exposed, unfortunately. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, it's a very good substitute. I mean, if you want to keep it on display, you can keep it on display like this. If you don't want to take out your Mobirates, just keep it like that. So that'd be pretty cool, along with your other 5,000 plus morphers in your collection. So, all right, enough of my talk. Oh, and by the way, doesn't have the Go Kaiser logo there. Just I wish they would put like Mega Force or something like that, Super Mega or something like that. But that's okay. I hate Mega and Force because of their genetic names. But
Yeah.
anyway, guys, go ahead, talk.
Well, that's the one thing that you bring that up. You know, obviously that I think we've talked about it before. Is obviously I guess we could start off with the Nickelodeon Saban era, and
Oh,
the,
yes.
the Nickelodeon Saban era, and one thing I think we haven't discussed, at least behind the scenes yet, uh, Sentai 22. I think we briefly talked about it last time we spoke, but we were asking if Nickelodeon and Saban's partnership here is helping or if it's hurting the franchise. It's something that was brought up. Something.
Well, marketing and promoting wise, they're doing a good job in that front. However, when it comes to the scheduling and the quality of the show, that is one big issue. For example, Nickelodeon will only order 20 episodes a year, which is a big problem considering that the source material has a lot of things to tell. I mean, I don't
Absolutely.
know. I mean, I don't know if when they are going to adapt Kyoryoger in the near future, I don't know how they're going to put all of these, because in Kyoryoger they have these so-called Spirit Rangers, and I don't know how they're going to put all these things together in just 20 episodes, and that's pretty much a big issue right there.
Yeah.
Also, as well, you also have to think about uh, again, the scheduling, of course. I mean, Nickelodeon is very notorious for having these scheduling conflicts with with Power Ranger franchise in general. I mean, if they're having an award show, they're going to have to move the Power Ranger time schedule to another time, of course, and um, also like quality wise. Again, they're not doing the best job, of course. I mean, they're getting better at it year by year, but I just feel that they should really improve upon, the actors, the acting. I mean, don't get me wrong, the actors isn't a problem. I think it's the acting coach that needs to be improved, in my opinion. So, but like I said, scheduling wise, for Nickelodeon, they're afraid if they air all 40 episodes in a year, it's basically asset. Like they don't want to buy new episodes because buying those episodes costs a lot of money. So that's why they're
Yeah.
playing it safe with just ordering 20 episodes. As a matter of fact, they are there are a lot of other shows, a lot of other networks that they don't order more than 25 episodes or more than 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it really depends on for the quality of the show. It really has to depend on the creativity, but I don't see that happening just as long as Jonathan Zecker's in charge.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised.
Yeah.
From what I heard from you, Jonathan. No pun intended. Since you guys have the same name. Yeah. I was fairly surprised that he didn't adapt the pirate theme, because he's usually that person that wants to adapt every single element from the Sentai. So.
He has been blatantly against the pirate theme.
Yeah, I mean, I was fairly surprised.
Just Saban himself.
Yeah.
Saban himself was against the Angel theme for Ghost Sager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it was fairly surprised that they actually doing some stuff originally, but you know, footage like on the forefront when it comes to the Sentai footage, they're using a lot of it. It's not like the Disney era where they use their own thing and just use the Sentai footage for mostly the Zords and the special effects exclusively.
Yeah.
So.
That's something, like I said, you would think that with the theme of pirates, it's something they jump on. It's perfectly, obviously marketable.
Yeah, of course.
About more people.
I mean, of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, kids love pirates, you know. I mean, if you guys watched Pirates of the Caribbean, that would have been a very good marketing campaign, just to have like a Captain Jack-like character. Yeah, as the Red Ranger. That would have been cool. Or, you know, as Captain Jack Sparrow as the mentor to the Pirate Rangers. Although, technically, Gokaiger in itself, even though from the pirate-esque appearance, it's not really pirate theme at all. It's just a fan service type series. Yeah. It's not really pirate-ish. I mean, I wish maybe in the near future, after the Train Sentai, they'll probably do a themed. It looks like a true pirate themed Sentai.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures for the Train Sentai yet?
Yeah, I did. Looks hideous.
Yeah. See, here's when I first saw the pictures to it, I thought it was a joke. I was just like, they're just joking. And then I guess apparently it's legit. I was like, oh. Well, I guess this is
let me tell you something. You cannot judge on just the concept pictures alone.
That's true.
Once the actual product comes out in the form of the trailers, you will see, like, oh, this is awesome. Like when I first saw the concept pictures of Geki Ranger, I was like, nah, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But then I saw the trailer, I was like, this is not bad. Kung Fu style. And the Rangers look like they're wearing pajamas.
So it's Night Rangers.
Night Rangers. There you go.
There you go. The Bedtime Rangers.
Bedtime Rangers, yeah.
That might
it would have to be Dream Force.
Dream Force. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, the next Sentai will be Dream Force. There you go.
Dream Force.
There you go. Yeah, with the powers of the magic sand of whatever mythical land they're calling it.
What is the Train Sentai called? What's the name?
Regular Sentai Tokyuger.
Tokyuger. Okay, so when they get here, they'll be the Thomas the Tank Engine Force.
Yes.
I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go.
With Thomas as the Red Ranger.
Thomas as the Red Ranger. So Thomas, you've always been blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to get James. James have to be the Red Ranger.
James.
Yeah. And
the three main engines are Thomas, Percy, and James.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And
Two
Percy.
kids. I've been watching that show for 6 years now.
No, but
Percy.
you brought up a good point, Sentai. Yeah, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll. See, the thing is, it's really seeing the costumes. It's gonna be, if that's the final product. If those are the costumes are they going to use. It's going to be really hard to take them seriously. It's just like it would be funny if it's an actual, very serious show. It's got very serious themes to it. Kind of like how they tried to do with Jacker back in the day. They do some real life issues in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
they're wearing these hideous costumes. It's like, man, I can't.
Well, you're talking about Q-Jack. Yeah, yeah. That's a series that I will never live down. I watched it and it's like, wow. And they wanted to put this as part of the Super Sentai. Wow. But speaking of
We'll see.
Sentai, yeah, speaking of the Sentai, let's talk about the Versus series now.
Oh, the Versus Sentai series, right?
Yes. Now it originally started with Go Ranger versus Q-Jack, but that's at the time where it wasn't really officially Super Sentai series.
It's just Sentai, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole thing kind of started with O Ranger versus Kaku Ranger.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, of course, there have been relatively pretty much the same concept, new heroes versus the old new heroes, battling the evil force, like new heroes and the old heroes battling the evil forces of some special villain in that particular OVA. Yeah. However, as the years progressed, I think the last true kind of Versus series would have to be Go-Ranger. No, actually, the last true Versus series would be Shinkanger versus Go-Sager. After that, they started to add new elements to the mix with the Versus series, with adding cameos from previous Sentai series, as well as adding, of course, like I said, like the cameos from different past series, like for example, what they're doing just now with Go Buster versus Kyoryoger. You've probably seen that one with you've probably seen the trailer with Jew Ranger and Aber Ranger, and I'm thinking to myself. Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, why is Go Buster even there? This is supposed to be a Dino themed special. Why are they even there?
Like, forget about it.
I forget about Go Buster. We got some dinosaur Sentais here. We don't need them anymore. So I don't get it. Why couldn't it just do a special with the 3 dinos instead of? I wish they could have just kept it separate and just not one special.
Well, maybe they felt that they couldn't skip, since Go Buster was the season before Kyoryu,
No, the thing is, they can do a Kyoryoger versus Go Buster on their own. What I'm trying to say is that why are they adding plus Jew Ranger plus Abra Ranger? It's supposed to be a Dino themed special, not. I think the Go Buster teams will be ignored because of the other Sentai heroes.
Yeah, well, they'll definitely outshine them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Go Busters has been ignored pretty much since it came out.
Yeah, even though, when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty good. I thought a Spy Task Force series was a really good concept.
Mm-hmm.
And
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, the fight choreography is just fantastic. It just looks just like real co-op right there. Like real tactical fighting styles. That's pretty cool. But like I said before, with this special, they're going to totally ignore Go Buster because of
just like they did in Superhero Tyson Z.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Superhero Tyson V, that is a complete mess of heroes.
Oh yeah. All Sentai, all Kamen Rider, all metal heroes.
There was no premise.
Rumble.
There was no premise.
No, there really wasn't.
It was just fight.
Yeah, it was just fight the new heroes with the old heroes. Kamen Rider fighting against a villain, and Kamen Rider and Sentai battling it out with the main villain of the special.
Oh, geez.
So,
Shocker.
Shocker's back.
Yep. Yep.
For
the third time, I believe.
Wow. See, I recently started. I was telling Sentai 22 recently. I recently started watching the newer Kamen Riders. Obviously, I'd seen the original, the very first series with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it, by the way.
That's tough to watch, man. The old stuff, but no, I finally got around to seeing some of the newer. Well, one of the newer Kamen Riders, which was Kamen Rider Kuga, which I guess it was the first one of this new run of shows that started in 2000, and
yeah.
I was
Believe it or not, the concepts like the bicycles and the Kuga design were all designed by Shigeru Ishinomori before he passed away just 1 year prior.
wow.
So that's pretty interesting trivia right there.
That is very interesting. See, what the thing I saw about it is because obviously prior to seeing Kuga, all I had seen was the original Kamen Rider, and it's tough to watch. I mean, it's not I can appreciate it for what it is and what it did. Obviously, by their standards, if you think about it, how things were back then, it was it's still a decent show. They can hold on to a degree.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said about it. I mean, watching Kuga is a very, I mean, sure, by today's standards, it looks a little bit cheesy because of the cameras, the old school cameras, and of course the fight style.
Yeah, no, well, the Kuga is good though. That's the thing. I like Kuga, even though the only thing about Kuga that I've noticed is that the fights are a little bit long and drawn out, but they're fine. I mean, it's not I like the cinematography in it. I like the storiness so far, and I think that with Kamen Rider Kuga, Ishinomori, his vision of what he always really wanted Kamen Rider to be is really coming across in Kuga, at least what I've seen. So far, it's like his vision is what he had for Kamen Rider is you could really see it in Kuga. His what's the word I'm looking for here? His vision is it's I guess it's finally realized in Kamen Rider Kuga, but he had always intended.
Yeah, you know what's kind of interesting though is that Agito is a little bit more darker than Kuga in a sense.
Really?
Yeah, I watched Agito. And some of the fight scenes are very, very gruesome. As particularly between I think it was Gills, was it Gills and the Unknowns? I think it was not. It was called the Unknown in Agito. It wasn't Unknowns. It was some other ones.
I think so.
Yeah, but the fight scenes they were very kind of like Amazon where he fights. He kind of cannibalized the monsters just by eating the parts of the body of the monster and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's more dark and you had a lot more people killed in that show. Probably maybe more or less than Fives. And speaking of Fives, I like that series as well. It's kind of like the first Kamen Rider to actually come to the 21st century with the cell phones and the gadgetry. You could say it's like the James Bond of Kamen Rider.
Wow. I have to say, like I said, I'm still on Kuga right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far. So I mean, I definitely, obviously intend to finish the series and definitely want to watch more.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, yeah, you should. I mean, like I said before, anything from Kuga all the way to Kabuto, with the exception of Kiba and Decade, those are really great shows. I don't like Deno, however, because they've really kind of changed the dynamics in the Kamen Rider series because they were trying to capitalize on the lightness of it. And that's unfortunately sold the franchise. Kids all over Japan, including adults, love Deno because of its lightheartedness and light characters, and of course lighter stories. That's why, and of course you got the Amagins, of course, in Kamen Rider Deno. that kind of made the series pretty much what the series is now, a lot more like lighter than Sentai. As a matter of fact, if you watch Deno, it almost looks like Sentai.
Hmm.
Yeah, like the tone is almost in the same comparison as Sentai.
I'm gonna have to see it then. But I'll
Hmm.
get around to that. I'm looking forward to it though because like I said, I'd seen Kamen Rider before, so I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm well versed in it. Obviously, all I know is the old Kamen Rider, the ride the jump, ride the
It's
kick,
okay.
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I've seen the old school '70s Kamen Rider,
yeah,
and I mean, I watched a couple of episodes,
yeah,
maybe 19 of them, but I just couldn't because of, it's just so outdated, you
yeah.
know?
It is. It's tough to get into, but like I said, there's things that could be appreciated about it. I mean, it's even though it's
Although,
outdated. So
although I did like Super One, however, I love that one, and Kamen Rider Black and RX as well.
Black is another
Yeah.
one I would just like to see because I always like seeing how you know how the footage obviously I've seen plenty of Mask Rider, but just to see like what originally led up to that. It's like when you go back and watch Kuryu Sentai Zoo Ranger, and you see that, and you kind of have, oh, okay, how it makes sense within the story of Super Sentai, and and how they turned it into something completely different for the adaptation. It's always fun to see that. So that's
Yeah,
something
I mean,
I like to
it's
do.
definitely a, how would I describe it? A very uh, very big, substantial difference than Mask Rider. I mean, it was a lot darker. The characters were very top notch, and just the overall story was just incredible. However, that's for Black. RX, not so much, even though a lot of people consider it to be great too, but it just didn't really catch up like Kamara Black did.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that failed in RX's part was that they added a car. That did not make no sense.
Uh, you know, yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't get the whole thing with why did they add this, because toy sales will go to the roof, I guess. Who knows? Maybe. But I think I think that was a really dumb thing for them to do.
Nah, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Kamen Rider always has a
Yeah.
motorcycle.
I, I
Just
think
give him
I
the
think
motorcycle.
I think the reason why Kamen Rider took a hiatus in the 90s was because of the car.
Oh man, it's just
Yeah.
like I would like to see what they told the guy whose bright idea was the car. It's like, that was terrible. You're fired. Take your car with
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
That was his consolation prize. He got to keep the car from the set. Like
Yeah.
take,
Mhm.
he drove off a cliff with it
Yep.
in his
I
depression.
mean,
Oh,
mm, yeah. What have I done?
but a
I should have
horrible
never
season
brought
of
this thing into this world.
Now I'm gonna take it from this world with me. Oh,
Yeah.
oh man,
They probably changed him to
that's pretty terrible.
It's even worse because when they adapted Mask Rider, they also adapted other Mask Rider. Well, they adapted the OVAs in the
Mhm.
'90s, Jay and Kamen Rider Zeos too as well. But they didn't show Zeos's mask, although in the pilot they kind of did. I don't know why they couldn't just add it as
Mhm.
like a super mode for Mask Rider. That would have been awesome. And
Yeah,
of course, the giant mode, they did use that footage for that too, the Kamen Rider J footage. They could have used that as Kamen Rider Mask Giant mode or something like that. That would have been cool. But they
that would
didn't
have been.
show the like for the adaptation for the two specials. They didn't show the faces. They didn't show the
Hmm.
Mask Rider Zeus or J. They
I have to go back.
just go
Yeah,
ahead.
I have to go back and watch that, man. It's just been so long. I look at
Yeah,
Max Rider.
you'll notice in the first episode of Mask Rider, you notice that they took some of the footage from the OVAs,
I'm gonna have to
particularly
see.
Zeus.
I'm gonna have to see that again. See, it's been a minute, but that's the thing. The only thing I guess one of the better things to take away from Masked Rider when it was adapted was, the kid that played Masked Rider, his performance was actually pretty good. I would even say that he was out of those shows that came out around that time frame, he was probably one of the best actors to be on those shows. It's just he had
you mean the black kid?
No. The kid that played Dex. He actually his acting.
Oh, you mean T.J. Roberts?
Yeah, his acting was actually decent. I mean, he was probably one of the best actors on a show like that around that time period. And that's really only one of the few saving graces of that show was that the acting, at least his acting in it, wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the stupid hi-yas, which were annoying, it was okay. His acting was okay.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, compared to Mighty Morphin, it was okay. It was top notch. The way that he spoke, like when he was on Eno, he spoke to like his grandfather. The way that he would, he would say like he was like in a castle or something. Like he was like the prince.
Regal, very regal. Yeah, he had a very regal way of talking.
Exactly. Yeah. But when he was on Earth, it was like kind of a mixed blend. Particularly like when he was fighting, I did not like how he just say he-has, like some kind of surfer dude or something like that. Surfer dude trying to learn karate.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was Surf Ninjas karate.
Surf Ninjas, yeah.
Surf Ninjas karate. They taught him on his planet. Ernie Reyes Jr. was there with Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
They taught him. Rob Schneider taught him as Master Iggy.
Yeah.
Master Uncle Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
who knows everything, and he's only 37 years old.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a horrible movie. No, but see, as far as adaptations go, I haven't seen the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight yet, but I haven't heard bad things about it, but I haven't seen it myself yet. One thing that I did notice about it was that Mark Dacascos, who's been in a bunch of movies that I like, he's also in Iron Chef. I heard he actually appeared in Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
Yes, he did. I actually watched the entire series.
Oh, you did? How was it?
Yeah.
How was it? Because I haven't seen it yet.
It's Mark Dacascos. He plays the common. He plays I forgot his name. He plays Kamen Rider. I gotta look this up again. Sorry, but I did watch it. I did watch the show, and I would say it's not that bad. However, the way that they were trying to do it was Kamen Rider. He was the master, you could say. Let me check right now.
Okay, so Kamen Rider Iron Chef.
Kamen Rider Iron Chef. No. I know the name of it. He played an alien. He played I think it was Master Ubilon. Let me check if it was Master Ubilon.
Translation to Iron Chef.
Translation to Iron Chef. Let me see.
Or Crying Freeman, because he was.
Ubilon. He played Master Ubilon. He played kind of like the mentors for the Kamen Riders.
So wait, hold on. Master Ubilon?
Yeah, Master Ubilon. He was
interesting.
He was the one that made the Kamen Rider technology. The way that he can assign decks, like the Kamen Rider decks, to different users, and of course, he was the one that, unfortunately, he was lost in the void. I guess that's what it was called. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. You got to see the series for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch another one. I have to watch. So many tokusatsu shows to watch.
But yeah, I mean, it was okay series, but it was not the best. I mean, the show was really, how to describe it? It was not really that kind of happy-centric type of show. It didn't really have that kind of feel. Like the Wang brothers, what they were trying to do was trying to make it feel like a Kamen Rider series, but unfortunately, it kind of backfired because the characters were just very dry. I mean, they're very good actors. I mean, very good actors, but the show was just so dry. I it was okay. Like I said, it's just it didn't really catch on.
Yeah, the appeal just wasn't there.
It just wasn't there. Like I said again, I understand what the Wayne brothers were trying to do. They were the producers for Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
Who?
The Wang brothers. Steve Wang. He was. Remember, he was the one that produced Guyver. Remember?
Yeah, I know. Okay, I know. Yeah, I know who the. Well, I don't know who the. I've seen the Guyver, but when you said you said the Wang brothers, right?
Steve Wang and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I thought you guys said the Wayans brothers. I was like, Marlon and Sean?
No. Sorry for my accent, my man. Sorry for my accent.
No. It's not even your accent. It's just the way it sounded, bro. It's just like, I thought he must be, it's like, it must be Wayne. I was just like, the Wayans brothers.
Steve Wang, the Wang. Like, what's his, Steve and, let me see, his other, well, it's just Steve. That's all he did. You remember he did one of the episodes of Lost Galaxy, as well as he did other stuff as well. He did Guyver, and Dark Hero as well. And believe it or not, he also did that parody kung fu movie, Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Man, could you imagine a Wayans brothers?
Oh no, let's not go there.
A Wayans brothers Kamen Rider season.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be totally hilarious.
Don't leave your Cyclone in Angel Grove while drinking your juice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something ridiculous like that. Oh man.
But like I said before, the series was a vision of what they were trying to create. I mean, these guys grew up with Kamen Rider as they were children, but the way they were trying to, I mean, the whole spinning belt thing when they were transforming, that was actually a tribute to the Typhoon belt from the original Kamen Rider. But it just didn't really have that, that oomph, if you will. Yeah. And also keep in mind, it was on dead slots. It was on Saturday morning. It was on the CW for kids, now the Vortex block, but they didn't really promote it to us. As a matter of fact, the last episodes for Dragon Knight were aired online on the For Kids site, which made it even worse.
Wow.
I mean, I kind of feel that if they aired it on another channel like Cartoon Network, I kind of guarantee you that it will get a little bit more exposure and probably would have been a little bit better. Despite the fact that the characters were dried and bland, they would still find an audience.
Well, Cartoon Network, I think that's one good thing about Cartoon Network. They've always had that effect that they could take something and find a place for it, the right place for it. Like that's what happened with Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors initially, when it was out on TV, not a lot of people. I mean, a good amount of people knew about it, but not a lot of people knew about it until it aired on Cartoon Network a couple years later. I think it aired on Cartoon Network 4 years after it had already been on TV. And when it aired on Cartoon Network, that's when it really reached people. That's when people were just like, "Oh, Ronin Warriors," and it got a little bit more of a cult following.
Yeah.
If you ever watched Power Ranger Samurai, every time when Jaden activated his Shogun mode, it totally reminded me of Ronin Warriors.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ronin Warriors is fantastic.
Yeah. I'm thinking of buying the Shogun mode toy, but I just didn't really get around to it because it wasn't really used on the show.
If you get around. If you get around to, I don't know if they have any Big Lots over there in your area, but if they do, you should have some Big Lot stores, because there's a bunch of Power Ranger Samurai stuff in Big Lot stores right now, and they're pretty cheap.
You should go to Times Square in Toys R Us. Times Square Toys R Us. They have a bunch of samurai stuff there too.
Still
on sale. Yeah, they still have it.
Wow. Wow.
So you were saying, Tommy? I couldn't hear you. My bad.
I said the Shogun mode toys look the best of the entire series, sadly. Like, they even made a Shogun mode for Antonio, even though he never had that in the show.
Mm-hmm. No. That's funny.
Except for the mega modes, they look incredibly ugly. I like the Shogun mode better. You know, the sad part about it is that Emily and Mike, I think Mike and Emily never got a chance to use their Shogun modes. Yeah, you watch Super Samurai, right?
Yeah, I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. Emily
No.
and Mike didn't use their Shogun modes.
Oh no.
Yeah. They only showed it like when they were, you know, summoning the power of the ancestor. You see all the 5 Shogun modes like in the yeah, but they never really used them. Only was it only Gia, Jaden and no Mia. Okay, yeah, Mia, Jaden and what's the Blue Ranger? Kevin used the Shogun mounts, but the other 2 didn't use them.
Good old Kevin.
Yeah. So are you guys excited for Super Mega Force?
Super Mega Force. I haven't even seen Mega Force yet, so there's nothing for me to be excited about just yet. You know.
Well, I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer, and they, for a few seconds, they actually did some original material, but the majority of the trailer was just mostly Sentai footage.
See, and that's kind of shady, man. You know, on Saban's part, because it's like, you know, that when it airs, that stuff's probably not going to be it's probably not going to be in any of the episodes that they're going to air. They're probably, because they have to make a lot of new footage for the Rangers that actually appeared. You know,
yeah, particularly the Green Ranger scenes, because the Green Ranger in Gokaiger, his mannerisms are kind of clumsy-ish, and the Black Ranger is not that clumsy.
No, exactly. That's the thing. I think Tommy had mentioned before. I remember we talked about it before. Is how are they going to translate? They're obviously going to have to film a lot of new footage. Obviously, that being one of the things they got to film, but also the Legend War. You know, just like, you know, how are you going to explain? How are you going to explain all those?
I wouldn't worry about that, because they still have a lot of Go Sager footage, so they can go back and forth to Gokaiger to Go Sager regardless. I mean,
oh yeah,
the main villain of the show wasn't really defeated, so
there you go.
So that indicates that they'll still be using the Go Sager footage coincide with the Gokaiger footage. It'll be like what they did with VR Troopers. The villains will be contacted by this kind of like TV screen. They use like you guys watch VR Troopers?
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Like, you see how, like, the main villains, like, you know, how Grimlord talks to the villains from the other series, use like this portal to contact his generals. Yep. That's what they're gonna do with the villains. They're gonna contact it like sort of like TV screen or something like that. That's how it's gonna work.
It's gonna be great. Forces of darkness empower me. Take me back to my virtual reality.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Super Mega Force will be the VR Troopers of Power Rangers.
Oh man, that's harsh.
Yeah. Well, apart from the
it could be true though.
Yeah, but apart from the Ranger fight scenes, it's the villains that will have that VR Trooper-like appearance, because they're going to contact each other via footage by different 2 shows. If you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I said before, when Grimlord contacted soldiers, the soldiers from in the kind of portal transmitter or TV screen, as you call it, like, that villain is not from Metallers, from a different show.
I need you to do me a favor, man. We ain't even in the same universe.
Yeah, right.
Ain't even in the same universe, man.
Yeah.
That's
They're
great.
in the same universe.
Well, yeah,
not.
of course.
Sentai is in the same universe.
Of course, yeah. It has. you know. Well, that's the thing, and with those when they do crossover movies, you know, with Kamen Rider, they
but when it comes to Power Rangers, the universe is, if you will, effed up.
Well, you know what's interesting is that you know, oh yeah, absolutely. What was it, Ninja Storm? They kind of made it seem for a moment that it was like, you know, it wasn't within the same universe. 'Cause it's like Power Rangers, they're not real, and then it's like we get to be Power Rangers, ooh, you know, and then obviously in the next, you know, obviously that whole thing goes to, you know, goes away when obviously the Dino Thunder Rangers and then team up. So, but it's interesting that they did that at first.
Yeah, they kind of stopped passing the torch, if you will, for the team-ups until SPD and maybe a little bit of Operation Overdrive with the other Rangers coming back from the Disney seasons, apart from Johnny Bosch, the Black Ranger. But like in order to keep the continuity alive, basically having the elements from the like having some sort of reference to the last series, they actually put like little tidbits, I guess.
Yeah.
From the last series, I do remember one scene, I guess, in Mystic Force where what's his name? That guy who always likes to eat junk.
Piggy.
Piggy, yeah. Piggy was in Mystic Force.
Yeah, I actually saw that the other day. I was like, hey, it's Piggy. And he actually apparently, and that's prior to, that takes place before SPD, because he's like, I just got here. So
he's
it's
the
like
first,
years before.
He's the first illegal alien.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But they acknowledge it, though, that it's part of obviously the same time that Mystic Force obviously takes place before SPD. So that was pretty cool. And the guy that plays Piggy, he's the record shop owner.
Yes, and also he played the wizard guy as well in Mystic Force as well with the big nose. He also played him as well. I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. Huh?
Phineas was played by somebody else.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He's a different guy, right? I'm pretty sure he's a different guy.
Yeah, because I remember them. Yeah. They were side by side at the final episode.
Yeah,
also, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no.
And also, they added, like, for example, in Power Rangers Jungle Fury, in Power Rangers RPM, Karma Pizza, the fictional pizza shop in Power Rangers Jungle Fury, was referenced in Power Rangers RPM.
Nice.
Yeah, so they were trying to at least keep the continuity alive by these sort of references.
Yeah, they
do team-ups.
They do a couple of subtle references. Like I think Connor has he has like a twin brother that goes to the Ninja Storm Academy or something.
And then he kind of lost his, like he failed his ninja tests and stuff.
Oh, his brother was the black sheep of the family.
Yeah, you could say.
He couldn't make the cut. That's why he's never mentioned again in Dino Thunder. Connor, didn't you have a twin brother? What are you talking about? No, I didn't. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is he? I don't get it.
I don't know, brother.
I don't know.
Of Ninja Storm as his brother.
That's what it was. But he's never mentioned again. It's like he never existed. It's because he flunked out. He disgraced the family, so he probably committed seppuku.
Yep.
Seppuku, yeah, there you go. He committed seppuku, a samurai.
Seppuku.
Get my sword.
Yeah, exactly. He's gone. I never had a brother. What are you talking about? Never happened. Never happened.
Like, I don't know him.
But you said,
told us. Yeah.
But you said, let's go play soccer. Come on. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That dude's too much. No, so we were also talking about, we had mentioned last week briefly, which is something that I wanted to bring up again, was Audrey Dubois, the supposed former Yellow Ranger from Mighty Morphin. Can't really say supposed, because she did actually play the Yellow Ranger, for those of you that don't know. Audrey Dubois played the Yellow Ranger. She played Trini in the unaired pilot to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know if it was because she decided to leave. I'm unclear as to whether it was she decided to leave the show, or that she the role was just recast, but obviously she didn't make the final cut. Twee Train is the one who ended up playing Trini in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and she's the one that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
basically, yeah.
I do think it's probably an issue with management that's Audrey Dubois probably left. And of course, she probably regrets it to this day, you know.
Well,
So.
I mean, maybe not too much. I mean, she's certainly trying to cash in on the opportunity. If you go to her webpage, she has original Yellow Ranger merchandise on there.
Even though she wasn't really a part of it, she was just in the pilot episode only. Which I can understand. She is part of Power Rangers history, of course. Don't get me wrong.
She is. She is in a way.
It's completely different character than Trini's, of course.
Yeah, she just has no stake at all to the, or she has no claim at all to the Yellow Ranger legacy, or even the, or the Power Rangers legacy at all. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't think, I take no issue with her saying, "Oh, I played the Yellow Ranger first." It's fine because it's true. She did play, albeit unofficially, she did play the role of Trini first, but she is not Trini.
Mm-hmm.
She did not define the character. She did not.
She plays Trini in a parallel universe.
I guess that's a way to look at it. For all intents and purposes, I mean, things were different. I mean, Zordon, looked different. I think even Alpha looked different from the final way he ended up looking. Everyone looked a little bit different. So. I mean, but still, I mean, it's something that people didn't know about until, they didn't know about it until, what was it, how many years later, 6 years later, when that unaired episode finally aired on TV as part of a special.
Yeah, part of the 5-year anniversary of the franchise.
Yep. So, I mean, it just... again, I don't blame her. I mean, maybe, who knows what her situation is. Maybe she needs the money. I don't know. Maybe she just really wants to be a part of the,
Well, I think it's that reason because, like I said before in the last video, a lot of former Power Ranger actors, they really want to get in touch with the fans again, trying to basically, reliving these moments that they had while they were acting in that role as the Power Rangers back then. What's that noise?
My bad. That was me. I was typing. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I had to answer a message. It was really loud, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really loud.
Next time.
Like I said, prior to like I told you guys before, prior to Power Morphicon, there wasn't a lot of actors going to these conventions. But after Power Morphicon, they kind of saw the fans. I thought they probably thinking to themselves they didn't really have any fans because they were in a show like Power Rangers. It was just, to them it was just mediocre. Like it never really catched on with kids and people. When they watched Power Rangers, they grew up and forgot about it. But they realized they haven't forgot about it. Like I said before, if you look, for example, Steve Cardenas, he was, he never really acknowledged, he never really said to people that he was, acting in Power Rangers. He never said that he was on it. But once he went to Power Morphicon, his outlook changed, and now he's going to conventions like crazy.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be.
Last year.
And the same goes for David Joyce as well, which is kind of ironic since when Saban bought the franchise, he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much. See, with Steve Cardenas, he's definitely doing a lot more conventions now. He's definitely got his full. He's actually going to be at Ranger Stop this year. For those of you that are in Orlando, Florida, or on the East Coast, be sure to check it out, www.rangerstop.com. Give them a quick plug there.
Which brings up an interesting question. Do you guys really think that, when Saban bought the franchise, do you think David Joyce, like if Saban didn't bought the franchise, do you think David Joyce would have popped out of nowhere?
I think so.
You guys think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say. Who knows? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, what happened?
But it's like what I said about Steve Cardenas. He wasn't really thrilled to be, part of that legacy of like Power Rangers. He didn't really acknowledge. I guess the same goes for David Joyce because, of course, he had sort of bad memories about the, bad things about the show behind the scenes, which is understandable. But when he went to Power Morphicon for the first time and was talking to the fans and how he felt and all that stuff, and of course everybody, and particularly I guess what was the girl's name in Power Rangers Zeo? Nakia Burris.
Nakia.
Yeah, Nakia. She was in a Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh yeah, she's also in an All-Star commercial. Yeah, she was also at Ranger Stop this year.
Yeah. It's like who's hotter? You, baby. I thought so. I love that commercial. But the way, she was in the convention floor with the David Joyce panel. She's like, she hasn't talked to him in a few years and hugged him. So that was very, very touching.
Yeah, she's a really nice person, very sweet, very very approachable, very down to earth, very nice, very cordial.
And I started to notice now a lot of more YouTube videos of David Joyce in conventions now, which was something that was very difficult to find prior to that particular appearance on Power Morphicon 2 years ago.
That's a good thing. At least it seems like he's embraced the fandom at least, and not he's not the bad memories he might have associated with the show, but more what it means to the people that watched it. Watched it.
Yeah, I mean, he's comfortable with himself. I mean, the past is the past, and he just moved on from that.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I think more of them now are they're warming up to it now. Or at least I hope. I mean, I've heard that there's obviously there's some that have disassociated themselves to further their other acting or musical endeavors, but
the majority of the former Power Ranger actors, the majority of them have embraced the power, if you will. So that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
But there's others out there that still need to be found. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, I mean, all of the Rangers are pretty much, I guess maybe 50, maybe 40% of them are going to conventions now. Apart from the Disney era actors, because of course they live in New Zealand.
A lot of them live in New Zealand. Well,
but of course they would love to go. I mean, I would definitely love to see the Jungle Fury cast go to a convention as well.
Yeah. Oh, it would be great to see more of the Disney actors. That's the other thing too. I think, with the Disney era, there's always been that talk within, well, I won't say all Power Rangers community, but there's a good portion of the Power Rangers community that'll say, oh, the Disney era seasons were bad, and they get that bad rap. They're not. There's really no. I mean, I guess a lot of people say that the bad one for the Disney seasons was Operation Overdrive, and as I said before,
I watched Operation Overdrive, and it's not as bad as a lot of people say it is. The reason why it's bad because, of course, the choreography was a big issue, particularly the explosions. Too many explosions. Like the explosions just give you seizures like right away. Because like the Pokemon episode.
Oh yeah, the infamous seizure episode. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, apart from the choreography, I mean, the story-wise, it's not that bad. I mean, well, I don't want to say much because you guys haven't seen it yet.
Well, Tommy's seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I've only gotten as far as Mystic Force.
Okay, so. Just give you a little hint, Jonathan. It's like Pinocchio. Do you want to be a real boy? Yeah, that's what it is, right? Tommy, you get what I'm saying, right? It's like Pinocchio, real boy. What, Tommy?
Cardboard.
Oh, we got
cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard cutouts, yeah. Just to give you a hint, Jonathan, okay? Because we don't want to spoil it for you. Just to say, it's like.
Gotcha, no problem.
In the midst of the series, it's like Pinocchio almost.
Yeah. All right, just to let you know. All right, we got. Looks like we actually got some viewers watching now. A couple at least. So
Yeah.
for those of you that just tuned in, I'm John. I have with me Sentai 22, as
Salutations.
well
Sentai 22
as
here.
yep, as well as Tommy, who is our social media manager over at Toy Bounty Hunters Web TV. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask us, or want to put into this, want to add to this discussion, please feel free to go ahead and ask any questions on Twitter at toy_b_hunters, or you could ask us questions on our Facebook like page /Toy Bounty Hunters page on Facebook. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free. But getting back to our discussion here.
I can't transform into Power Ranger. I can't.
That's cool.
Like I bet you, Gose will probably say these keys will give you the power to transform into legendary rangers for only a few minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, at least I from what I've heard about some of the actors, it'd be funny if they gave them the keys and they were just like, "Is this for a car?"
No.
No, it's for you to transform, dummy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you'd be the Power Ranger that you always wanted. Well, that depends which season do you like.
Got my driver's license.
Yeah. Like
oh,
my license plate reads it's Morphin. There you go.
It's Morphin. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I did saw one license plate here in New York City that actually said it.
Really? It's Morphin?
Yeah, it's Morphin. Yeah.
They couldn't afford to get the last 4 letters?
I guess not.
Because there's Morphin. Hey man, what you forgot the last 4 letters. Somebody else got it first.
Yeah. It's like your usernames, basically.
Yeah, somebody else got it first.
Yeah, it's like Morphin 1, 2, 3.
It's kind of like that. I don't know if you ever seen The Adventures of Pete and Pete back in the day. I know Tommy has. But,
yeah, I watched that one too.
Do you remember what I'm referring to, Tom? The King of Road episode.
King of Fraud, yes.
King of Fraud, yes. There you go. Yep, that was it. King of Fraud. Oh,
Did you guys saw the bowling ball episode?
Which one was that? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's a great one. Yes, not even Artie could take on the bowling ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he was trying to get rid of the bowling ball to the furthest reaches of the American-Canadian border.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. What a great show. If you look back on that show now, there's just so much stuff in that show that is just now, because due to political correctness, there's no way they'd show it now. It's just like people would be in an uproar. Why is that grown man hanging out with a little boy? That's wrong.
That's pedophilia.
You're promoting pedophilia. Because how sensitive people are now.
Conservatives will go on a tirade if today.
Actually, liberals would be more prone to going on a tirade over things like that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Liberals get a lot more. I think probably would get a little bit more up in arms about it. But let's not talk about.
Let's not talk about politics here.
It's not about politics. Yeah.
It's Toku time.
It's Toku time, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm.
But Speaking Toku time. Oh man, like I said, so much tokusatsu, so little time, and then there's just so many bad ones. I mean, as far as adaptations go, it's probably one of the worst adaptations. But funny enough though, I still did watch it. Was Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad?
Ah yes,
with Matthew
Lawrence.
Watched that one.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Tim Curry.
Yeah, one of the non-Saban era, and probably the most well-known tokusatsu adaptation.
As I mentioned before, in my last few blogs, is that Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad is like the only, I guess, let me just explain it, like it is the closest thing that we ever had to an Ultraman adaptation, because Gridman was actually made by the same people that did the Ultra series and Ultraman itself. So, as I said, I mean, this is like the closest thing that we ever get to an Ultraman adaptation. As a matter of fact, the production was actually named Ultra Productions, coincidentally. Yeah. So it would have been interesting what they would have done if they, like, if Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was more successful. As a matter of fact, I actually used to collect the toys for it as well. I used to have the deluxe servo. Yeah, and the miniature 5-inch servo figures with the dragon attachments. Yeah.
I was gonna say Matthew Lawrence, a young and promising young Matthew Lawrence there as Servo. Oh man, it was pretty bad. But you know what? I still watched it though, even though it was pretty bad. That was still one of those shows I would watch. And it was the only one. It was the only tokusatsu adaptation that at least, you know, from what I remember, kids knew about outside of Power Rangers. You know, so I guess that I don't know if that's a compliment to it or not, but hey, at least
it was let me tell you something. I watched Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad and Power Rangers back in the day when it first started. Yeah, to be honest. I mean, even though it was probably more cheesier than Power Rangers, it was pretty good. I mean, even though
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I mean, it had its moments where it was just really. It was like, this is tough to watch, but it wasn't. It really wasn't that bad as opposed to, Mask Rider.
Mask Rider, yes. I mean, could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, it was a series that truly is remembered as the only tokusatsu that was not made by Saban, adaptation-wise. I know that there was a lot of other companies that were trying to capitalize on Mighty Morphin. Well, same guys that did Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. You ever watch Teenagers of, what was it?
Yeah.
One on US, Teenage Alien Fighters.
There you go. That's the one.
Well, that's the thing. There was a lot of influx. Oh yeah, it was awful. Yeah. But there was a lot of influx of tokusatsu shows around that time. Definitely, obviously, trying to cash in on the Power Rangers craze, and some of them, like I said, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad was one of the ones that again didn't do so bad. It wasn't. The toys. I mean, they didn't sell nowhere near as great as Power Rangers did, but
which was awesome though. I love the toys.
Yeah, but the toys were still still very good toys though. And if you compare them to toys like the VR Trooper toys, they were much better quality.
Which was kind of ironic since it was the same company that made the VR Trooper toys, Playmates.
They spent a lot more time. They spent a lot more time on looks like on the, But then again, I don't know if they got the molds from Japan. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
They did. Bandai kind of pretty much gave Playmate the original molds so they can produce them. Yeah, so it doesn't have to necessarily mean that Bandai of America has to, be doing the toys, but they, Playmates did the job pretty well in terms of capturing that accurate. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's basically the same as the Japanese versions.
Yeah.
Though did they release the communicator for it in the U.S.?
I'm
Do you
not
guys remember
sure. The one that Sam had, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they did. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But I know they released a good amount of toys though for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
They did.
There was a pretty good selection of them.
And what's weird though is that most of them you can pretty much get them on the cheap nowadays.
Yeah, which is surprising because there's some toys that they go into that I don't want to say so much into the obscurity, but they are by now at least. People would consider them pretty obscure.
I mean,
Like,
I remember, like, I think it was 2 years ago, I was walking to a local shopping mall, and they still had some of the merchandise. I mean,
wow,
from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, they had the
that's great.
like, it was all the way in the back. Like, these were these kind of, like, those Chinese gift shops that had like some of the newer and the older toys. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The old school gents place. It's like, we got some good deals.
Yeah. Like the stuff that they don't sell, but they just keep it for years and years until you. As a matter of fact, there's this place in Washington Heights that sells a ton of old stuff from the late '90s. Like they still have the some of the power playback stuff.
Oh wow!
I saw a couple of them last week. They had the battle boards from Mighty Morphin.
Oh,
from Alien Rangers, yeah.
Oh, the battle boards. That was great. Nothing like watching a bunch of aliens outside, like ha ha.
Yeah. Even though in the original series they went inside the bodies.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
They could have done it a lot better.
No, they could have. I mean, it cracks me up when I think about it now. Like, seeing the battle boards, just like, all right, there's so many battle boards. I don't remember anybody thinking that was cool at all. I remember people thinking when I was watching
telekinesis sucks if it's done right.
Well, that's the thing, with the whole battleboard concept, I found it silly when I watched it back then, and I know that just about everybody I knew thought it was so too, because everybody thought the same exact thing. Why don't they just get inside them? Yeah. And it's just like, what if they get hit while they're doing their thing? That's it, they're done. And exactly, it's true. Even as a kid, you realize these things. It's just like they'd be safer if they were actually to go inside Zords. Why are they fighting outside? They could get stepped on.
Yeah, like I said before, in Kaku Ranger, the Shochu fighters, I think that's what it's called in the Japanese version.
I believe something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually went inside the Zords, but in this, I just like, whose idea was this?
I can tell you what. I bet I know the guy that came up. I got a great idea for the battle borgs. This is the way they'll use them. They'll stand outside, and they'll just fight.
Yeah.
That'll make the battle borgs fight.
It was probably the same guy that thought of this idea of having the Alien Rangers talk like they're underwater.
Well, exactly. The same guy probably came up with the idea, and they were like, give that man an office. You give him an office. Give him an office with a nice view. Give him an office with a nice view. He's a genius. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that they did with the guy who decided to recycle with Ron Wasserman. He recycled the Green Ranger. He recycled the Green Ranger song to the White Ranger song.
Yeah.
They're just like, Ron Wasserman, you're set for life. That's it.
Haim
done. That's it. You're genius.
Haim is very cheap businessman, but he is a very good cheap businessman. He knows what he's doing. He knows how
he absolutely knows what he's doing.
He knows how to market it for, like, he said in an interview, you will, how do you say, do less and make more. Do less and you make more. That's what he said.
Well, I mean, that's pretty apparent. Yeah, that's definitely one of his philosophies.
Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, I think the reason why Haim Saban picked Jonathan Zecker to be the producer of Power Rangers was because, A, he is his best friend. He's one of his closest friends, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And also, he is more efficient than the other producers. He gets everything on budget and on time. So, and of course, you have the other Saban's friend, which is Noam Kinnear, who did the Power Rangers theme song, which is why we have the same Power Rangers theme song for Super Mega Force.
Yeah. It's genius.
Genius.
Give him an office with a view. He's a genius.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tommy. I can't hear
thought
you.
they were set once he realized the Shogun Megazord.
What was that?
I said I bet Saban thought they were set once they realized the Shogun Megazord fit inside Titanus.
All right,
Yeah.
we got a question. We got a question from Snowwolf, from Snowwolf 2012 on Twitter, and he's asking, "What do you guys think happened to the Zeo powers?" I'll tell you what happened, Snowwolf. Water happened. A lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of water. No, but seriously.
Too much over dehydration caused the Zeo powers to be destroyed.
In all seriousness, I mean, it's not something that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not something they addressed. In Turbo Power Rangers movie, when they just, one Ranger hits the water and they're like, oh, screw that. You know what? We got to get rid of these powers. That's it. You know, that seemed to be it because they didn't.
Yeah,
their
only weakness is water. I'm kind of surprised that Hydro Hog never had the I'm surprised that Lord Zed never thought of that idea to. Or no, actually, I think Master Vile, it that brought Hydro Hog to Earth, or was it Lord Zed? Hydro Hog is
Zeo. It was Mondo the Machine.
It was it was Mondo. He's right. See, here's the thing with
no. Hydro Hog is the main villain for the Alien Rangers. Like they're like the equivalents of Zed. He was the one that was draining the Earth's water supply in the final season of season 3 of Mighty Morphin. Like Zed couldn't have told Hydro Hog, hey, why don't you go to the command center and destroy the Zeo powers, because the Zeo powers' weakness is water.
There you go. See, with the Zeo powers, though, here's what I think. I think, obviously, with the Zeo powers, I don't think they ever went away. I mean, obviously, they're the only, at least in those pre-eras there from Mighty Morphin till, obviously, in space, where it was either, they did the whole thing of, all right, you got this upgrade because you didn't have the other power anymore. With the Zeo powers, obviously, they never really lost them. It just really, to me, they probably still can exist in the Power Rangers universe. It's definitely something they could use as a plot device if they ever want to bring them back. But of course, obviously, that goes with the reestablishing of the morphing grid and all that. But it was really just, as far as the Zeo powers go, it was really, the turbo power was just the upgrade, and it was just like, okay, this is an obsolete power. We can't really use it anymore to fight this new enemy that we're facing now. It's not adequate if it can't even sustain water. So I hope that. So Snowwolf, I hope that answers your question. But that's what I think.
Behind the scenes wise, it's just basically, what are we gonna do with the old powers? I don't know. Throw them water. Brilliant.
We do now.
So I mean, that's pretty much it.
They jumped the shark. What was it, Tommy?
According to actual Power Rangers lore, the Zeo crystals are not technically tied to the morpho grid and continue to get stronger over time. So if someone were to find the Zeo crystals today, they would possibly be the strongest Power Rangers ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. And obviously, and again, that also explains why Tommy was able to come back as the Red Zeo Ranger for Forever Red.
Yeah.
Because the power was never, at least as far as I'm concerned, from the way I interpret it, the powers were never really lost.
The thing is that the producers of Power Rangers, they never really thought ahead of time, because of course the movie was just coming out at the time, so they wanted to promote the series for the new toys. So that's the reason why they never really thought of a good ending for the Zeo, as well for the powers themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in theory, well, Zeo is kind of, in a way, sort of semi-non-canon. What I'm trying to say is it's not really tied up to Turbo. And maybe it's kind of like, maybe it's in a different universe, sort of, if you will.
Well, I mean, it's definitely. I look at it as more. It's definitely it's in the same universe, but obviously, as far as the powers go, it didn't. It just didn't go the way that how it had been done before. See, in those early seasons of Power Rangers, there's obviously a lot of continuity eras. I mean, look at how from Mighty Morphin, from Morphin to Zeo, how can Tommy lose the White Ranger power when Zordon told him, hey, that's the white light of good. You can never have that power taken away. You can never. Essentially, what Zordon was saying is, hey, you could never lose this power, but he lost the power.
Well, you know what I mean? Technically, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger powers were never lost. They were just drained.
They were drained, no, but I'm saying the White Ranger powers. When he got the White Ranger powers, and Zordon told him, and White Light, when he told him, hey, you got the white powers of good. This is basically ultimate goodness, and this can never be taken away. This can never be lost. And in Zeo, obviously, you know, by the time they're ramping up for Zeo, we see that that's not the case.
Well, Goldar did destroy the well, when they were defeated. Well, not season 3. I'm referring to season 2 when Rito pretty much destroyed the Megazords. They pretty much destroyed the powers from within. Because if you think about it, like when they were still using like power crystals, like, you know, in the Thunder Megazord. Yeah, I mean, if you notice in the Thunder Zords, like the Rangers in that cockpit looks really uncomfortable. Like especially when they're fighting, like when they're battling the giant monster, like every time when they fall, like the Rangers just like fall like all the way down. Like you notice, like they're not sitting down anymore in the old cockpit. They're standing up.
Yeah.
like every time when they're being attacked, like they just like go down, like whoa. Like they can't keep themselves still because, you know, they're standing up. There's no seats to keep them supported.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, just go ahead, watch it. You probably seen it, right, Tommy?
I am gonna have to watch it again.
Watch the cockpit footage of the Thunder Zords. Like all of them. Well, it's the only cockpit footage. They don't have individual cockpits. Like when they formed the Thunder Megazord, they're in one cockpit, but they're just standing up. They're not sitting down. Which is kind of a stupid idea on Zordon's part. Just give them seats. I don't want to fight when I'm standing up, using these two. Like, it's really ridiculous.
This cockpit is not aesthetically pleasing.
What?
Oh man, that's great. So
what was it, Tommy? I couldn't hear you.
I said this cockpit is not aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. Let me adjust something real quick. All right, we got more viewers. Got more viewers on, I see. So again, guys, if you guys want to ask us any questions, just go ahead and send them to our Twitter at @toy_B_hunters for Twitter, or you could go on our Facebook like page and ask us some questions, and we'll answer them here on this stream. So don't be shy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah. Yes.
And
we
I'm
won't
back.
bite, by the way.
We will not. So going on to the next subject. Oh, going back to well, actually no, let's not go back. Let's go forward here. We talked about the Super Mega Force and what to expect from that. Now let's talk about an issue. I wouldn't really say an issue, but something that's kind of controversial, I guess, within the Power Rangers community. Some people are for and some people are against. Me and Tommy are part of a Power Rangers community on a group on Facebook where they constantly discuss this. I think they even discussed it earlier today, if I'm not mistaken, and that's the MMPR fan film. I guess a lot of people, I won't say a lot, there's a good amount of people that are not really for the idea. They are for the more traditional style of Power Rangers, and there's some that are, are indifferent to it. Some like the idea that it's an edgier, more adult take on the Power Rangers mythos, so to speak. So,
let me just say one thing. Kamen Rider the Next shows us one thing, is that a Power Rangers adult film can have, I mean, a Power Rangers mature film, sorry if I said adult because it sounds more pornographic. What I was trying to say is, if Kamen Rider the Next can achieve this, so can a more mature Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie fan film.
I agree. I mean, that's the thing. I'm completely fine with it. Obviously, I mean, but I understand the people that are more of the Power Rangers traditionalists. I know they like their Power Rangers a certain way. That's fine.
They're Power Ranger purists in the same way as Sentai purists as well. They want to keep everything the way it is. Which I don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing, but there's sometimes that there needs to be some changes in order to keep the interest alive.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, and a retelling, and obviously it's Power Rangers with a different spin on it. So there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's these guys they're just telling their story. This is their vision of Power Rangers, and hey, more power to them for wanting to, for being enthusiastic about doing this project.
And plus, it's not like it's canon or anything like that. It's not. It's a completely different universe, kind of in the same way as the Power Rangers, the first movie. It's not really tied into the original series, but they're trying new things, and let's just hope it does well. So Saban Brands, I'm sorry, tries to hear their calls for a mature, kind of what Jason David Frank said about a more mature themed Power Ranger series. Although I don't think it will catch on. I don't think it will have a big fan base. I mean, it will just be kind of us, the fans. Yeah. But I don't think it would catch on to like people who watch, say, for example, like Smallville or Star Wars. I mean, it will never catch on to that kind of success.
I'm sure it'll stay. It's something that'll stay within the community of fans. I mean, obviously, it's something that is MMPR fan film is basically more for the fans. I mean, than anything else. And anybody that has always wondered, hey, what would Power Rangers be like if it had, if it was edgier, if it was, if it was more adult, had more adult scenarios in it. So I think that's interesting, and I think it's worth giving a chance. I don't think people should.
Again, guys, we're not talking about an adult Power Ranger film. Okay?
No, yeah, exactly. Not that kind of adult film.
We're not kind of an adult film. We're not talking about making our, like this Jason David Frank quote, we're not making our dragging daggers grow or nothing like that.
No,
we don't.
Nothing like that.
We don't want some pink. We're not gonna get some Kimberly-like porn star to do this porno thing. No.
That's not gonna happen. It's just if you guys don't know about it, it's MMPR fan film. You can look up the trailers here on YouTube to know what we're talking about. But it's not. It's nothing. It's just a more serious take on Power Rangers, and there seems to be a lot. They're not the only ones doing a film. Apparently, there's another film that I'm aware of. Shame on me, though I've yet to see the trailer, and that's the Eltar, the Zordon of Eltar fan film, which is supposed to be a prequel telling the story of Zordon and Rita prior to the events of Power Rangers. So that looks, I heard about it. It seems kind of intriguing from what I've read.
You know what I want to see though, if they ever get to find the costume like the Phantom Rangers backstory.
That'd be I know for a long time they wanted, there's obviously always been hints like, oh, it was Billy, and there's a couple different people they thought of.
But then they kind of ruined it for all of us in Power Rangers in Space when they actually showed us he was actually a robot when Dark Clipter slashed his gut or something, and it was holding, like, he had like wires just coming out of his body. So it was like, damn, I thought he was human, but then he wasn't.
Let's see, I don't remember that. How could I not?
You didn't see that episode?
I'm trying to remember. Did that happen?
In Power Rangers in Space, where the Phantom Ranger was going to send them the.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the.
Yeah, and I remember Casey. Yes, Casey had to help him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the. What's the
He's not a
Megazord?
robot. He's a cyborg.
He's a cyborg. Yeah, it could be a cyborg. Who knows?
He's human. Maybe
Anything
he's
is
just.
possible. Maybe it's
Maybe.
possible. Maybe he was
Maybe.
in a. Maybe he was in the great Power Ranger War eons ago, and you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had a liver transplant with robotic circuitry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe he ate a computer for breakfast that day.
Yeah.
Could be.
He was in that episode. He was giving the Space Rangers the Delta Megazord.
Yeah.
Was it the Delta Megazord? Yeah.
That's a Megazord.
And yeah, the ones with the finger missiles, not the Dragon Zord finger missiles. The ones that like the ones that they spin like a Gatling gun.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that one.
The cone head Megazord, as I like to
Yeah,
remember.
there you go. The cone
The head.
The secondary pyramid Megazord.
Yes.
Pyramidus
Jr.
Pyramidus Jr.
Pyramidus Jr. Pyramidus Jr.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a Megazord!
Yeah, going back to the Power Rangers Super Mega Force toy line, I did check out the Legendary Megazord. I have to say, judging by the toy inside the box, I thought they would improve on the bulkiness of the Go-Kai-O, but I was wrong. It's basically the same as the Go-Kai-O minus plus the Zord Builder system. I mean, you should see the pictures what these guys do with the Zord Builder system with all the other past Megazords. Man. Just crazy mad scientist stuff.
Now, have you seen?
What was it? Go ahead, Tommy.
Have you seen the Zeo upgrade?
Oh yeah, the Zeo attachment. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, the Zeo. Super Z. No, it wasn't Super Z. The Red Battle attachment. The Red Battle Zord attachment. Yeah, I saw it. It looks. It's okay. Huh?
The one that didn't exist in Gokaiger.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw it, but I doubt they're gonna show it. I mean, unless if Saban paid Toei to do
which
a special scene. Yeah, which they have done before.
They have done for Power Rangers, I believe. They had some footage shot up for that by Toei. Yeah, back when.
We call it Ju2, which is basically once the series was originally going to end for 40 episodes because they already exhausted the Jew Ranger footage, the whole 50 episodes of Jew Ranger. Yep. But at the time, the kids couldn't get enough of Power Rangers, so they essentially the producers went to Japan and asked Toei for additional footage, and what they came out was pretty interesting. I mean, they got the mannerisms from the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger characters. They got a brainy Billy. They had the like in the Ju2 footage, they had the interactions with Kimberly and Tommy, and a more flamboyant Yellow Ranger, which is really interesting. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all right, man.
I am just responding to a tweet there from somebody that sent us a question earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to show the love for the people.
Yes, we got to.
For the handful of them.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, people. We appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I hope you support our channels as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on from that and going back to Kamen Rider for a moment, like I said, I like I told you earlier, I was starting to watch Kuga and I like it so far. And again, I believe that it definitely lives up to the vision that Ishinomori had for it, and what I would like to see, obviously, is a good Kamen Rider adaptation here in the States.
Well, you know
talked
what they
about
say, third time's the charm. So.
and I remember mentioning that you saying before that they are actually considering doing another one. Is that right?
Yeah. From what I've heard is that Saban, they've they secured the rights, trademarked the rights to the name Power Rider.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is. Maybe it's Kamen Rider, maybe it's something else. But give or take, and I am no psychic, I don't know these things, but I guarantee you maybe somewhere around after Megaforce, they're probably going to do something. Uh, they're probably going to adapt Kamen Rider because, as I said before, apart from Paul Frank and Digimon, Saban brands, the only brand that they have that's the only live action brand that they have is Power Rangers. So they really have to do something to expand after Super Mega Force. So, and let's just see what happens after Super Mega Force ends. Maybe it'll happen, maybe not, but I can guarantee if if Super Mega Force becomes successful, which it will because of the toy sales and the promotions, they'll probably try to bring Kamen Rider to the States and trying to promote it as like they did with the Power Rangers when it first started to come back. And they're trying to promote this is the #1 live action franchise in Japan coming in the U.S. soon. Power Rider. You've seen those trailers, right, guys?
I have not. I'll be sincere. I have not. I finally
when Saban bought the Power Rangers franchise back, they made a trailer for promotional purposes.
I actually did not see that. But I do want to say this real quick before we continue.
Oh, okay.
Because I finally found how to open up the comments here, and I hear Valdez, MJ Valdez 84, our good friend Valdez from Ranger Stop, www.rangerstop.com. Check him out. Asked, what is the hardest toy you guys had a hard time finding? I'm going to tell you right now, Valdez, I've never had a hard time finding any toy because I am that good at finding toys.
He is. That's his name. Hello, Toy the Bounty Hunter.
Now, there's been a couple I've had some trouble finding in the past that have taken a little bit of time, but I can honestly say that I've never gone for any toy that has been I guess you could say impossible for me to get. Like I won't try to get like say like a very rare prototype of something. That doesn't appeal to me. I know there's collectors out there that like to try and get things like that. There's collectors that like to get certain foreign toys that are like, oh man, this is a rare foreign toy from Brazil or from Chile or from Argentina or somewhere else in the world, and they'll try to get those. And I don't really care about stuff like that. I try to, most of the stuff I usually try to get. I mean, I will get imports from time to time. Don't get me wrong, but usually.
And those imports are really a really good rarity, particularly in Brazil, because most of the tokusatsus were aired there. So, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's fine. I mean, as I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, I'm sure there's toys that I've wanted to get that I just never got around to getting. There is one toy that I wanted to get that I never got a chance to get because I never did actually find in stores, but I can't say that I was really looking hard for it, and that was the White Ranger figure that came out for the relaunched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers line, the 4-inch figures. That was probably the only one that I wanted to get, but I didn't end up getting. But at the same time, I wasn't really looking as hard for it as I could have. It was kind of more like if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. So I guess if there's any that I looked for and I just didn't find, it would be that one. So I guess you could say that was probably the hardest. I probably had the hardest time finding that one.
For me, like the toy Jonathan said, I've never had a problem finding a toy. On summer occasions, you do, like, for example, if you go on eBay, there might be a 100% chance that you might lose that bid for a particular toy, and that was so true with the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Power Gun and Sword Morpher. I mean, I lost so many bits of that particular item because it was just because of the value. And then when I went to Ranger Boy the other day, some guy was selling it with the box with the the gun and sword morpher. So I for I think it was 130, which was not bad considering how much they go for on eBay nowadays. So I decided to take the chance and bought it. So, but other than that, I mean, I never have had any problems finding Power Ranger stuff because it's always there. You go to eBay and some of these things pop up. I mean, let me tell you something. If I became a Power Ranger fan, for example, in 2009, I mean, I came back to Power Rangers around Dino Thunder at the time, and I was just starting to collect all of, well, some Power Ranger stuff because my room is so small. I'm not going to collect all the Power Ranger merchandise. I mean, there's a lot of people that do. But
gonna uppercut your pockets there, man.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But like I was saying, I mean, you can find a lot of stuff on eBay. Although, like I said before, in 2000, if I was a fan in 2009, I would never get a chance to find the Astromorpher from Power Rangers in Space. If you go on eBay now, you can't find that morpher. It's it comes on on eBay once in a while. So I'm just thankful that I became a fan back a little earlier in Dino Thunder, so I can buy it. I paid around $50 at the time for the Astromorpher, and I just imagine now that I don't know how much they go for it on eBay, like probably 110 or 130 with or without the box,
Yeah, usually morphers and weapons, and morphers, not all weapons, but a good amount of them go for a pretty high price now. Oh, I have another question on here. We'll get into it a little late, though. I hope Kabuto Power is still on. This question is from Kabuto Power. Do you guys get tired of the MMPR remix theme, Samurai and Megaforce theme song?
Yes, I do. It's getting yeah. I mean, it's seriously Saban Brands. We know it's an iconic theme song, but there's other theme songs in the Power Ranger franchise that people are familiar with, like Time Force and in SPD theme. I mean, there's a lot of others. It's not just Go Go Power Rangers. It's other ones, So it's getting very repetitive. I hope that they don't try to do this with the next adaptation after Super Mega Force. But knowing Saban Brands, they're trying to keep the spirit of Mighty Morphin alive, like they always do. They're trying to promote the old brands, but not promoting the brands that came after Mighty Morphin. So it's kind of a shame right there.
See, I obviously, it needs to stop. I think. I mean, it's okay to if you're gonna make a new song for Power Rangers, and you want to throw in a Go-Go in there, I have no problem with them doing that for every season. Just throwing maybe a Go-Go once in there. But they don't have to do it Go Power Rangers all the time and keep using that over and over again. They could,
Yeah, I mean it's that theme song is iconic for Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin, and a little bit of Zeo, but not for Samurai or Megaforce. They're just, like I said, they're capitalizing on something old. Guess what? This is not 1993. This is 2003. This is a whole different generation of kids that have gotten smarter over the last couple of years.
Exactly.
The last couple of 2 decades. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I just saw I think it was a 6 or 7-year-old using an iPad. I mean, I wish I had that type of technology back then when I was a kid. It probably would help me learn a lot faster than public
Who
school.
knows? Yeah, agreed. Okay, I have another question here from Ford Escape. What happened to Jason Lee Scott? Ford Escape 007. What happened to Jason Lee Scott? Why don't they use him like they did with Jason David Frank? Well, to answer that question, he moved on. He apparently after after leaving the show, he ended up opening up, I guess, his own EMT business, which he has, I believe, a couple different offices. One being, I believe, his main office he has is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is in Washington D.C. And apparently he has an office across seas. So, for all intents and purposes, at least to the best of my knowledge, he's out there saving lives, and that's not a bad thing.
Austin St. John, that's his stage name, also known. His real name is Jason Sager, I think that's his name.
Geiger.
Geiger, yeah. He's a paramedic firefighter. He's doing something that he actually does in saving people's lives, much like a superhero, ironically. So yeah, I think he's just like I said before in an interview at the first ever Power Morphicon, he says he's a private person who likes to keep he doesn't like to be in the spotlight like his other co-stars. He just likes to be a quiet person. So it's completely understandable. I don't really care. I mean, you got other guys to fill that void. So I mean, I'm sure he is the original Red Ranger, but I mean, you have other Red Rangers that came after him that are better as well. I mean, not to say, I mean, Jason will always be my favorite.
Yeah.
And he'll always be on that top list of my favorite Rangers. But the actor, I mean, he's a private person, so just leave him alone, and we can move on and do other, and we can go to different Rangers for our idols, if you will.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too is that one good thing I think about him not showing up as often as say Jason David Frank is that it makes when he does finally show up, it makes it at least to fans of old school Mighty
To be
Morphin
honest,
special.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, as much as I like Jason David Frank, I'm just getting tired of him, to be honest.
Eh?
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's like I said, he's a down-to-earth kind of dude. Like you guys say, he's a fun guy, but he's just going to conventions like there's no tomorrow. I just like Tommy, Jason, just go home. Just leave us alone. We don't want you. Seriously. No, I'm just we get that sense that okay, he is the face of Power Rangers, but he has become such a glorified how would I say this? He's become too big for the Power Ranger community to handle. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. What?
Yeah.
So go ahead, Tommy. You were saying? Tommy, go ahead.
I was?
Yeah, you were saying something. I kind of cut you off there. Nothing?
I was kind of agreeing with you. He has Jason David Frank. Jason David Frank, as much of a fan of him as I am for Power Rangers. Yeah, he is like everywhere now. He's with Wizard World. His Facebook page has over 1 million likes. You really can't swing a dead cat around the Power Rangers community without hearing Tommy or JDF at least once a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to YouTube and search Jason David Frank, you see hundreds upon hundreds of videos of him in each convention that he goes to.
Yeah.
You don't see the other actors doing this because, of course, they have actual lives, but Jason no, I'm not saying that. Look, Jason is very successful. I mean, he has a successful karate school, so most fun. I
understand what you're getting at.
For him.
I understand what you're getting at, though. I completely understand. It's one of those. It's basically he's not a. It's common to see him and hear about him. So it's like we already he's very actively involved on Facebook, and and social media. So it's like, you know, exactly. I mean, you get more than enough of your fill of him. So it's like I get what you mean. It's not that, you know, it's nothing. It's not you're not knocking him. You're just saying that it's exactly there's more than enough of JDF to go around. Way more, you know, even and then some. So it's like
I mean, if you look at the questions that he answers, is basically the same thing as he said in the last con, and in the last con, and in the last con. Nothing new has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there is. But it's kind of interesting now that he will forever be this sort of person from now on. Like, I think, you know something, I think he will never go to doing MMA fights again. I think he'll just go to conventions now.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably not. I mean, because it's you know, I think maybe if he had started a little bit sooner with the MMA, he probably could have had a more lucrative career. But the thing is, with MMA, and you know, it's a little bit harder to get into when you get when you get older. When you get older, I mean, it really is like boxing. With combat sports in general, they are a young man's sport. You know what I mean? And even though he's in great shape, I mean, like I said, that's a lot of time. I mean, he's 40 years old now.
I don't want Jason David Frank to become Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson or Evander, you know, because once you get your head being knocked out for so many times, that you're losing your mind. You're losing your how would you say, because so many, you know, hits to the head causes trauma in the brain, so it could cause a lot of, you know, slurs in the mouth because of course. Yeah, I'm not a medical expert, but you get the idea.
No, I get what you mean. So I mean, and that's fine if he wants to finish out, you know, doing conventions. It's not a bad way to go. I mean,
that's true.
It gives back. You know, it's something. You know, it's interactive. You get to hang around your fans and stuff. So
let's just hope he doesn't punch a fan anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope.
Like, if he ever gets angry, I just hope he doesn't take it out on the fans, because he looks like he could turn into the Hulk any minute.
Yeah. Oh, he's in good shape. He's in good shape. The dude is. I met him. He's pretty ripped, man. He is. Guy. He's pretty ripped. So. He's pretty big.
Pretty buffed up, yeah.
And the thing about it is he's I think 5'11". So, you know, yeah, he's only what? Yeah, I'm 5'9", so I'm just like, wow, he's not as tall as I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah.
Because you expect him to be like 6 foot something, but no, he's only like 5'11". So, but he's big. He's a big dude. He's about a good. He's probably, I would say, by looking at him, he's at least 220 pounds, at least. You know, maybe 230. He's a lot bigger than he was in Power Rangers. Power Rangers, he was probably about 190 when he was doing Power Rangers, maybe 180, 190. You know, but yeah, he got big.
He got really huge.
And he got very tattooed. It's just like, did he go to? He didn't go to prison in the interim, did he?
No.
You know, it's like, is that where he went when he left Power Rangers? No.
I guess Tommy must have molested Rita, and then Rita filed charges.
Yeah. Oh, let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's keep it G-rated. No.
Yeah.
Let's hope that didn't happen. No, but oh man, it's too much.
I know. I'm sorry. I was just trying to put a little bit of adult humor in it.
No, we've had enough adult humor with him and PR fan film.
Yes, true.
It's too adult. Too much.
Show me your Dragon Zord.
Oh, Valdez said, "Ouch." I'm sorry, Valdez. We're just playing, man.
Yeah, you know, we all have to have a sense of humor, you know.
We're just playing, Valdez. Valdez. There's love. There's love. You know
there's
what?
Love.
You know what? Just for that, Valdez. You know what? Just for that. You know what? Let's move on to the next subject here, which is Amy Jo Johnson going to Lexington Comic-Con.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Let's
Amy, why did you do this to us? We're your friends. I collected your chewing gums from every single Power Ranger episode you were on set. We're such creeps. We're such assholes.
So of course, obviously, I did a I did a video about this earlier. You know, where I discussed this. Obviously, my opinion on it. And again, it wasn't a knock on Amy Jo Johnson as a person, because you know, I think it's safe to say none of us, at least none of us here in this chat, have ever you know, met her. So obviously,
Yeah.
I have no reason to slander her personally.
No, I think like I said before, it's there because, like I said, she is a very successful actress. Apart from the other original cast, she was the only one that kind of left on good terms. So she doesn't really say anything bad about the show. But pretty much taking advantage-wise, the fandom is kind of really harsh, though, in a sense. I mean, not to say, I mean, I understand. I mean, she wanted to promote her stuff, but that's not the right way to do it. I mean, you should embrace the fandom, Amy. I understand you had sort of bad memories from that 1994 Orlando, I think it was the Universal Studios thing that kind of scared her a bit. But it's not that bad, Amy. It's not that bad. We're not we're not creeps as you see us to be. All of us are.
No, I mean, no, a good majority of people. I mean, I'm sure there's obviously, but you know what the thing is, at conventions there's always going to be well, not just even at conventions, it's just anywhere you go. I mean, that anybody will recognize you when you're a person that is in a place of celebrity status. If you're recognizable, there's always going to be creeps. No matter where you go, there's going to be at least one that you're going to run into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so.
I mean, there was this one. I think it was this one question that David Jones asked. What's the weirdest thing you had to do for a fan? Like he said he had to sign in like dirty underwear.
Yeah, well, that's nasty.
Yeah,
why?
Like it still had the smell of urine.
That's
because
disgusting.
she was so nervous of meeting him, and that's why she kind of pissed her underwear, and he signed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I can see why Amy is kind of concerned, if you will, but
at the same time, I mean, you know, the thing about it is I'm sure she'll have you know, a handler there or somebody there. She'll have security in some way. I'm sure that, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure her husband will be there as well. So.
I'm sure she's gonna have somebody there that's gonna watch out for her. Is gonna make sure that, you know, there's gonna be people there too. That's the other thing too, is that I'm sure that they're gonna have people there that if anybody gets out of line, they're gonna yank them out. You know, it's just like, all right, you're out, you gotta go. So. Yeah. I mean, obviously I don't agree with her charging $100, but then again, that's not. I can't say that's all on her, because that could just be the convention that just like, well, hey, as maybe she had some other stipulations beforehand, and maybe that might have been a compromise on the part of Lexington Comic-Con with her to get her to show up. Who knows? I mean,
because I mean, maybe it could be the people that work for the Lexington Comic-Con. It could be that, you know, maybe because she's making her first public appearance, sort of public appearance, because she'll be in another room, that they're taking that advantage, you know, because she comes rarely to conventions. So this is probably the only and last time we ever get to see her. Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's just see. Maybe she'll get out. I hope she does. I hope she goes around the convention floor just for the sake of curiosity, because
that's what I think might end up happening, or at least I hope for whoever's going over there. That I hope does happen, is that she'll see all her other castmates out on the floor, and she'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the floor for a bit, and I'm gonna hang out with some of the fans and some of my old castmates out on the floor for a little bit.
I think the old cast will convince them, say, you know, come out, you know, come into the water, you know what I mean? That's what will happen. I think Jason David Frank will probably take her to the pool, if you will. So let's just see, because it's gonna be a really, really, really long time she's seen her old castmates. Some of them for years. I do know
Yeah.
that Karen Ashley's seen her recently, so let's just see.
Yeah.
She
I
hasn't
understand.
seen Jason David Frank or Walter Jones. So yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
No, but I know that she's also good friends with David Yost, and I believe he's going to be there as well. So, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe he
actually,
could,
she
right?
actually she did a video with David Joyce just recently. Like she was playing her guitar, and then David Joyce just came out of nowhere with a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shirt. It's so
Nice.
funny. Yeah, like I think there's a video of it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, maybe, like I said, maybe she's warming up to the idea, and that's great
Yeah,
if she is.
I think
If
David
she,
Joyce is probably convincing her to do that. Like she probably go to the
yeah,
convention floor. I hope so. Who knows? Maybe,
yeah,
maybe not.
yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
I hope she does. I hope she does, just because I know that there's people that really want to see her, and she's one of the. And I know she's going to be the reason for a good portion of Power Rangers fans to show up as well, because it's her first convention. So,
Yeah.
I know a lot of them want to see her, but they can't afford they can't afford the $100. So, and
Yeah.
there's fans that sometimes they just want to meet these people. They don't necessarily want a picture. They don't necessarily want to get an autograph. They just want to say hi. They just want to
Mhm.
say, hey,
You've been my
and
biggest
just chit chat.
inspiration,
Yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
thing.
And that's nice. I think that's great when fans get the opportunity to do that, to express. I'm not saying that they have to be all gropey with the guest or anything, but I don't think there's anything wrong with them, getting the chance to chit chat with them for a little bit and saying, hey, you know, uh, you were one of my inspirations growing up, or hey, you're a role model, or hey, your character, gave me confidence in certain situations, that I had growing up, or whatever,
Hmm.
it's a nice thing, and I think that to isolate yourself and deny fans the opportunity to do that is kind of messed up. But again, I'm not gonna put it all on her, because it could have just been the way the whole deal turned out on the part of Lexington Comic Con. I don't know, but hopefully she'll go out on the floor.
It may be like I said before. It could be an agreement between Amy's management and Lexington management, and that's just how
Yeah,
it came to be.
yeah, exactly. It could have just been that could have been just a compromise that they had, so it's fine. I mean, but let's see if we got any more questions here. Uh, I see somebody said, okay, Ford Escape says he knows her, and
Really?
uh, and I guess
Could,
so.
could you tell her to be a part of this next live stream? Which I doubt. I
That's our
doubt it.
question. That's our question to you, Ford Escape
Yeah.
007.
I mean,
Tell
she
her,
has a
tell,
I'm
webcam
hoping.
though.
tell her to join. Tell her to join our live
I'm
stream.
hoping
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that she sees just how many Power Ranger fans show up to her experience at Lexington Comic Con,
Hmm.
and seeing the faces of the people who are, funding her projects. I'm hoping that inspires her to go out and rekindle the spark with the fandom.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my personal
the
hope.
fandom gave her the money to do that. That fan that independent movie, and I think she is entitled to give the fans back something at least.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out when she shows up. Hopefully
Hmm.
she'll.
Boy, I
You know,
really want your poster in the background, Jonathan.
which one?
The one with the Time Force looks
Oh,
awesome.
this one,
No,
or
no, no, the other one. Yeah, that
oh
one.
yeah, oh yeah,
That one looks awesome.
that's Wes from Time Force.
Yeah,
That piece right there was done by my good buddy and artist James Griffith. Check out his artwork.
yeah,
You
I'll
know,
check it out.
check out his artwork. I have I always post this. I always post links whenever he uploads a new Ranger pick that he's done. You can check
Yeah.
him out on our Facebook like page in the album section. Artwork by James Griffiths,
Yeah.
which is on the
Oh, yeah. Well,
Toy Bound.
that's all for today. Unfortunately, I gotta go to work tomorrow. So
So I guess we're going to be wrapping up this chat.
yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any more comments or questions, we'll make an announcement when we're doing the next live chat, so we can answer more questions that you guys might have regarding whatever it is we're talking about at the time. So
yeah, Could we do it like every Thursday?
Oh, I don't know about every Thursday, but we can definitely plan. Probably Thursdays are the best days for me. I know that, but yeah, we could probably figure out a schedule and see.
Yeah.
So
Well, obviously, you
yeah,
know my Facebook, so you tell me anyway.
yep, I'll hit you up, buddy. But yeah, if you guys want any more information, like I said, just hit us up on either Twitter or on our Facebook like page / Toy Bounty Hunters page.
Yeah.
For any information. Yeah. And if you guys are interested in any of this artwork behind me, that's actually the Quantum Ranger there, also by my friend James Griffiths. If you guys are interested in knowing how to get a hold of any of that artwork, just hit me up on Facebook or on Twitter. But
and,
yeah.
Also, if you guys want, you can subscribe to my channel. It's Sentai22, obviously. As well, you can You can subscribe to my Facebook page, which is Sentai Vic Tom. Well, obviously, every time when I upload a video, I always put the Facebook on my description below. So if you don't have anything to worry, just go to my videos and you'll see it. It's Sentai Vic Tom on Facebook. So, all right, guys, that's about it. This is Sentai22, and thanks for watching this live stream with Jonathan and Tommy.
All right,
take it easy, guys.
All right, you guys have a good one. We are signing off. Till next time, happy hunting, guys, and take care.
All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.